The film opens with a scene set in China. Several years ago, a massive war was raging here. Thousands of Chinese people lost their lives in this conflict. This war did not end for years. During this war, King Daigo's fathers, uncles, brothers, and other royal relatives were all killed. If he also perished, his bloodline would have been completely wiped out. To stop this war, he decided to take the help of monsters. He did it in a temple where there were huge statues of 48 monsters. He took the monk out of the temple and started talking to the monsters. "I need your help to win the war, what do you want to get in return?" Hearing this, a rat came here, which King Daigo cut with his sword, but then the soul of the rat told King Daigo that he had come to talk about the monster. These monsters were ready to help him, but in return, they need all the organs of the body of his first child to be born. The king fixes this deal and all the monsters agree to help him in this battle. As he accepted this condition, a lightning bolt came from the sky and hit his head and a cross was made on his head. When the monk found out that the king had sacrificed his son to help the monsters, he was afraid that this would go out, so the king killed the monk. As the years pass in the film, we are introduced to a young boy who arrives in a city. This boy in a long hood went to a bar. Many girls were dancing on the stage in the bar, one of whom had a mask on her face. This boy immediately moved forward, but then many security guards came to stop him, but he killed all the guards at once and went on stage and he cut the mask of the girl with his sword who was dancing. This made everyone know that the girl was actually a monster. As her form came in front of everyone, the girl turned into a big spider and she attacked this boy. The boy also gripped his hand with his mouth and dropped it to the side, revealing that his hand was fake and had been replaced with the blade, which he was using to fight the monster. Everyone started running away from there in fear. All this was noticed by a girl standing outside. She also came inside this bar and we saw that there were some boys behind her because this girl had stolen their money. Now as these two came inside, they were scared to see the scene inside. This man cut the head of the monster with the sword in his hand at once. They were shivering in fear. As the boy took out his fake arm and put it on his hand, that's when his real arm came out. As he was walking, he suddenly fell down because his fake leg came off, and a real leg began to grow in its place. Now he came to these two and he took out his eyes like a bat and asked them, "How do I look?" These two got scared and ran away from there in fear. Now the boy who was already behind the girl. The girl turned around and quickly dropped the boy on the side and ran away to her place, and there she told an old man about this boy who had found a monster and killed it. Along with that, his hands and feet were also fake. This old man knew the story of that boy. He started telling the story that years ago, there was a magician. To improve his magic, he was collecting herbs by the river. That's when he found a child in a wooden box. He had no organ, hands, feet, ears, nothing. Despite that, he was breathing strangely. This magician thought of giving this boy a body. He did it in a city where a war was going on for a long time. He brought a lot of corpses. He cooked those corpses with some herbs and then he created a magic with which new organs were created for this boy. He mixed electricity in the water, made the heart of this boy and brought this boy back to life. This old man knew what the magician was doing at that time. That's why the old man went and gave his sword to the magician and said that this boy has a lot of power. He can also kill monsters, in which this magic sword will support him. After this old man's death, the magician put a fake hand on this boy's arms like swords and then he started training him in martial arts because he also believed in what this old man said. After many years of hard work, that boy became a very good warrior. Although this boy was blind, dumb and deaf, but still he was able to do all his work. After all, that boy grew up and the death day of the magician came. Before dying, the magician asks this boy to burn this house. If my formula gets into the hands of King Daigo, then he will make war all over the world and many people will die from it. Believing him, after his death, this warrior burned his own house and then a voice came from the burned house who told him that all his body parts were taken by 48 monsters and if he comes out to kill these monsters, then those monsters will keep coming in front of him. The more monsters he kills, the more of his real organs he will regain. Hearing the whole story of the warrior, This girl was surprised and decided that she will also support this boy in his fight. The next morning, that girl went to that warrior. She asked the warrior his name. Then the warrior said, "First you tell me your name." The girl said, "I don't have any name." In response, the warrior said, "I don't have a name either, but people call me Hyakamaru." The girl said, "Such people call me Dororo, you also say the same." Anyway, Dororo told Hyakamaru her purpose, that she wants to join him in his fight, but Hyakamaru didn't want this. He tried a lot to get rid of this girl, but this girl was stubborn and Hyakamaru had to listen to her. On the way, they reached the temple where they saw a very big monster child. Seeing this, Hyakamaru told Dororo that many children died in this temple and all their souls gave birth to this monster. Then they went on a journey where they meet a man in the forest. He was the owner of this forest and he said to both of them, "Come to our house. You are travelers and I want to hear the stories of your journey." Both of them went to his house. There his 7 daughters were sitting like a doll. Everyone welcomed them, gave them food and a room to sleep. They went to sleep, but later it was revealed that the 7 daughters were having a very dangerous conversation. They were not able to decide who should be eaten first. In the next scene, it was shown that those 7 daughters entered the room in the form of strange monsters. At this time, Hyakamaru was on the roof because he already knew about this trap. As these 7 monsters was about to attack Dororo, Hyakamaru immediately got down and turning the sword, he killed all these monsters in one blow. When Dororo wakes up, there were a lot of blood stains on her face and the rest of the monsters were dead. Dororo immediately got up and she saw that the monster child was showing them the way out of here. He took Hyakamaru, went out of here and reached a secret room where there were human bones of many children. Hyakamaru understood that these are the bones of those children whose parents had left them in the temple, and he also understood that the man's wife is a monster who took the form of a monk and brings all those children to her and then eats them. Hyakamaru went to her husband to tell him about it and to kill her, where she was already instigating her husband to kill them both. Hyakamaru told this man to get out of here quickly, otherwise, she will possess your soul. But when this man did not listen, then that woman really did this. She took that man's soul in her custody. Before she did anything else here, Dororo quickly runs to the village and tells everyone about that monster which is in the form of a monk took all those children from her and then she ate all those children. They also become furious and reached here to help Hyakamaru to take revenge from that monster. But by the time they came here, it was too late. That monster stabbed her sword in both their bodies at once, which killed her husband, but Hyakamaru did not, because her organs are fake. He cannot die, he is immortal. He now stands up to take revenge for the death of many children along with this innocent man from this monster. This monster fights with her. Her butterfly-like wings had many eyes and she looked very scary. While flying, she was about to run away from here, but then all those children's souls who had made a monster child together, they came out and got separated and while flying brought that monster down. Hyakamaru stabbed that monster in the middle while keeping his sword in her chest and that monster died. By the time the villagers reached here, that monster was finished. As that monster died, all those children came back whose souls she had captured, and after the death of that monster, Hyakamaru also got his real liver back and the magician's liver came out of her stomach and fell out. After that, Hyakamaru and Dororo went on their journey. On their journey looking for another monster and to kill that monster. When they reached the forest, suddenly, a face came out of a tree and came in front of them. This monster used to live in a tree. Her long red hair caught Hyakamaru, but then Hyakamaru with his magical sword cuts his hair and got himself free. Now Hyakamaru understood that this monster lives in the trunk of the tree. He did a high jump and then quickly divided the trunk of this tree into 2 parts with his sword, with which that monster was also killed in 2 parts, and as this monster died, one of her ears came back. After that, Hyakamaru faced a very dangerous demon. This demon was in the form of an alligator. It was very difficult for Hyakamaru to kill it because its upper jaw was very strong and at the same time, its attack was also very strong. Despite not having hands, it was picking up Hyakamaru with its tongue and throwing him far away. After throwing it far away, This alligator came and sat on top of Hyakkimaru. Dororo sees this and with all her strength took Hyakkimaru out of the alligator. Hyakkimaru also understood that he can't kill this alligator, so he decided that he will go inside its mouth and will kill it from inside. His idea worked. He opened its mouth and went inside its stomach, and inside from its stomach, he also killed this monster. After killing this monster, Hyakkimaru got his real throat. The exhaustion from this fight wasn't over yet when another monster appeared before him in the form of a massive eagle. This monster picked up Hyakkimaru and took him to a cave. After throwing him there, it picked up a big stone and tried to kill Hyakkimaru, but Hyakkimaru somehow escaped from its attack. After which this eagle picked up Hyakkimaru and tried to throw him down the mountain, but Hyakkimaru stuck his sword in the stones and saved himself. Before that eagle would attack him again, Dororo picked up a stone and threw it on the head of this monster. Taking advantage of the situation, Hyakkimaru also came in front of it. He moves his sword in the air and attacked it many times and separated its mouth from throat. Before exploding like a blast, this monster said, "You have come to kill us, but before us your biggest culprit is your own father, who came to us to save his throne. To save his throne, he sacrificed you, your every organ. He sold us all." Saying this, that monster was completely finished. Hyakkimaru regained his hand, but he began to wonder if there was something else in his past that he didn't know about. They started to move forward and finally they reached the kingdom of Daigo. Dororo hated Daigo very much because his men killed her mom and dad. Daigo thought that his villagers had joined his enemies. That's why many of his soldiers came and ruthlessly started to kill the innocent villagers. Dororo and her mom kept watching this whole scene. The soldiers of Daigo destroyed the whole village and in front of her eyes stabbed her dad's face with the sword. They also killed him. That day in the whole village only 2 people were alive. Dororo and Dororo's mom. In the evening, on seeing the opportunity, they ran away from there. This day was very heavy on them. There was nothing to eat. Then her mom told her, "Look Dororo, you have to be a boy until you get a good man like your dad." After saying this, she also died, and after that Dororo spent her life in all these difficulties alone. But from that day, she had made a decision that she from Daigo will definitely take revenge for his mom and dad's death. During their conversation, here many soldiers of Daigo also came, and on seeing this, Dororo lost control of herself. She points a sword at them, on which a soldier put a sword on her neck to kill her. As she felt this, Hyakkimaru picked up a dead body lying down and hit the soldier's face, and after that, attacked him with the sword. On the other side, Dororo attacks another soldier and brings him in front of Hyakkimaru. Until Hyakkimaru fought with both of them, Dororo made a mess with the third one, and turning him around, she brings him in front of Hyakkimaru. He already killed 2 soldiers, he killed the third one with 1 blow. They now came inside the village. As they came to the city, Dororo had a fight with a man. For that Hyakkimaru had to fight here again, and then Daigo's son saw him. He was very surprised to see his skills and invited him to the palace, saying that for him he can be the captain of his soldiers. When he took Hyakkimaru to his house, his mother was shocked to see Hyakkimaru and calls him by his name. She came very fast to her son as if she recognized her son. As Hyakkimaru held his mother's hand, he saw that day when his mom wrapped him in a cloth and threw him into the river. She did not do that naturally, instead the King Daigo forced her to do it. Because of these things, his mom gets faint. Hyakkimaru leaves while knowing this, and the younger son took care of her. When she regained consciousness, she told King Daigo that his elder son had returned, but King Daigo didn't believe her. He thought that the queen had gone mad. Hyakkimaru came back to a river bank where Dororo was sitting near fire. He said to Dororo, "You wanted revenge from King Daigo, didn't you? By killing his entire family, so come on, start with me, I am his elder son." Dororo was shocked to hear this. Hyakkimaru stands up and said, "I won't show you my face again." Saying this, he left. Dororo ran after him and stabbed Hyakkimaru in the back. Hyakkimaru was not hurt by this attack because he was immortal. Meanwhile, the old man came here who knew all the story of Hyakkimaru. He came here and told Hyakkimaru that your dad had sold all your organs to 48 devils. Hearing this, he got angry and decided that he will also cut his dad, Daigo, into 48 pieces and kill him. So that he also realizes what pain his son had gone through. Hearing this, Dororo got angry again and holding Hyakamaru's neck, she said, "You won't do anything like this, whatever it is, whatever he is your father." During their conversation, two monsters looking like dogs suddenly attacked Hyakamaru. Both were trying to kill him as if they had been hungry for many days and Hyakamaru is their food. Hyakamaru also fights with him and he easily kills both of them with his sword. As they die, Hyakamaru's eyes return and for the first time, he sees the world around on Dororo. Seeing this, Dororo also became emotional and she said to Hyakamaru, "I have extinguished the flames of my revenge. It would be good if you let go of your hatred for your father as well." The scene cuts and we were shown King Daigo, who went to the same temple where he had sold his son to 48 demons. He said, "Despite sacrificing his son, there is still a war going on in my area." On which he said, "It is your son's fault. He should have died 20 years ago but he is still alive, that's why there is still a war in your area." Hearing this, Daigo decided to kill his son Hyakamaru. On his order, many soldiers went to kill Hyakamaru. They bombed Hyakamaru with their cannons but Hyakamaru did not die. After it, Hyakamaru's younger brother came to fight him. He was trying to kill his brother by swordplay but Hyakamaru was stopping his attack every time. He did not attack his brother even once because he did not want to fight his brother. He just kept stopping his brother's attack. From behind, another soldier attacked Hyakamaru and when Hyakamaru stopped his sword, the soldier's sword broke. The broken piece of the sword flew and toward his brother's neck and his mother saw all this from a distance. His mother was now disappointed with him. She wanted to take revenge for her son but then Daigo came here to kill Hyakamaru. Seeing this, the queen's heart melted and she came in front of Hyakamaru so that Daigo does not kill him but Daigo was very cruel. He stabbed his wife's chest and killed her too. After that, he went ahead to kill his son Hyakamaru. Undoubtedly, King Daigo was a great warrior but Hyakamaru had some extra power. Both of them have a very strong competition here. Both were trying to defeat each other in swordplay and finally, while fighting, the king's power began to decrease because he was now old. He was about to die, he fell. Hyakamaru was about to cut his neck but then he thought of Dororo. Dororo told him that he has left her revenge. He thought that when Dororo can forget her revenge, why can't I forgive my dad? Now he had to think that he saw a monster picking up his brother's body on the side. The monster said to Daigo, "If you surrender yourself to me, I can bring your son back to life." Daigo didn't think of anything and this time too, he made a deal with the devil. Although Hyakamaru didn't want that. Before dying, Daigo also said that he had no regrets that he gave his son to the devils. As he accepted this deal, a terrifying flying monster came here and ate King Daigo's head. As it ate his head, a new face grew on his face which looked like a monster. Now those monsters had taken over Daigo's body and soul and in this way, his kingdom was now in the hands of that monster. Now this monster was going to destroy the whole world. At this time, Hyakamaru came forward and killed him by cutting his dad's face. In this way, the monster inside him also died. Before dying, Daigo just said that my younger son should take care of all my kingdom. As he killed that monster, he saw here that Hyakamaru's real heart had returned. As this happened, he saw that a very large army of the king came here to kill Hyakamaru but then Hyakamaru's brother stopped all that army and they came back to their palace. Hyakamaru's brother also brought him to the palace. As he came, he gave Hyakamaru the sword and said that this kingdom is yours, you are the first son here and also worthy of the throne. Hearing this, Hyakamaru was happy that his brother considered him but anyway, Hyakamaru said, "No, I still have a lot of war left, I have to finish a lot of monsters." On it, his brother said, "Okay, you fight your war and then come and take care of your kingdom." Hyakamaru happily left from here, where he met Dororo on the way. Dororo was crying because she couldn't believe that Hyakamaru would return to her. Maybe she had started loving him. Before Hyakamaru could say anything to her, Dororo attacked him. Confused, Hyakamaru couldn't understand why she did that. With a smile, Dororo said, "Now you have to be careful. All your organs are real now, and anyone can kill you." They both smiled at her words, and the movie concludes with their shared smile.